I'm Charlize, and this is My Femme Truth. Last time, I told you about the moment everything changed. The day I told my partner about the lingerie, the pink cherry package, and the truth I'd been carrying for most of my life. But if you think it all got resolved in a single moment, you'd be wrong. That moment was just the beginning. What came next were weeks of conversation, some gentle, some tearful, some quiet, but all necessary. This is episode 5, Weeks of Conversation. On January 2nd, the day after she saw me in lingerie, the day after I told her I had once wished I were a woman, we didn't wake up angry. We didn't fight. But the air between us felt different, still, heavy, like two people standing in the doorway of a room neither of them had entered before. We didn't talk much that morning, but we didn't have to. She gave me a look over coffee, a soft one. I said, I'm still here, but I'm thinking. And I gave one back that said, me too. That week, I hit the road again. I'm a long-haul flat deck driver. Hours of windshield time. You'd be surprised what your mind chews on out there on the open highway. I kept reliving the moment I opened the box, the nerves, her steady presence, the surprise. Not just that she didn't freak out, but that she actually asked me to try everything on and took photos. And afterward, how we just sat there in our truth. I was still shocked, but I knew we had more to talk about. And the talk began with a long conversation on a Saturday afternoon. The conversation started with, are you going to transition? I stared into space for a long time. The question, it was so big, and I hadn't even asked it to myself out loud. I finally answered, I don't think so, but honestly, I don't know. There's still part of me that's Charles, and part of me that isn't. She didn't reply right away. And that silence, it was empty. It was loaded. But later that night, she thanked me for being honest. Thank you for being honest. I'm scared, but I still love you. The words hit me like warm water on a cold day. Over the next few weeks, we talked nearly every night, sometimes on the phone, sometimes in person. I remember one night we were lying in bed, and she asked, is this a phase? I said no. Not because I wanted to push her away, but because I couldn't lie anymore. It's not just a phase, but it's not something I fully understand either. I just know it's real. She nodded, then whispered, I feel like I'm losing the man I knew. That broke me. I held her hand and said, I'm still here, just more of me. One morning, after we'd made breakfast and were just sitting together at the table, she asked, do you have a name for her? She meant the woman inside me, the one I had only just begun to let breathe. I shook my head. No, not yet. I think giving her a name would make her real, and I'm still figuring out what that means. She looked down for a moment, then smiled gently and said, you'll know when it's time. She was right. One night, I told her something I'd never spoken aloud before. Even saying it now still makes my chest tight. When I was 16, I used to wear my mom's panties and nylons and jeans, and sometimes even her blouse. And I wore them to school under my clothes. She blinked slowly. Then I said, there's always been this part of me. I didn't invent it. I didn't wake up one day and decide this would be fun or easy. It's just always been there. She teared up. You've carried that alone for how long? 40 years, I said. And then she did something I didn't expect. She hugged me. Hard. Here's what I learned during those weeks. Love isn't always comfortable. It's not always about agreeing. It's about showing up when things get real. She didn't say all the right things. She didn't always know how to respond, but she stayed, and so did I. We both agreed we need boundaries, structure, a map for moving forward. And that conversation is exactly where the next chapter begins. Weeks of conversation brought us to a place where we could begin to build something new. Not the same relationship we had before, but something deeper, more honest, more complicated, but also more real. In the next episode, Boundaries Are Set, I'll take you inside the agreement we made. What she could live with, what I needed to express, and how we made space for both of us. I'm Charlize, and this is My Femme Truth. If this episode touched your heart, please like, follow, subscribe, and share. Your truth deserves a voice, and your journey is valid. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.